Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Shannon. I'm the founder of Marketplace Seller Courses, and I'm very excited to have with me a special guest today, Shane Power Murphy. He is a digital marketing and e-commerce enthusiast that is currently working with xSellco. He enjoys helping online sellers stream their customer support, and we're going to show you something today that, if you haven't seen before, is going to blow your mind. And in your spare time, Shane, you enjoy boxing and playing soccer. You mentioned before we got started, you enjoy boxing up until the point that you get hit, and then it's no fun anymore.
Yeah, until the head starts hurting, then it's when I get time to get out of the ring. But it's good, yeah. And so really, thanks first of all for Shannon for having me today. Really with xSellco, our main purpose as well is just really to streamline the whole customer support process for online sellers, any kind of multi-channel sellers as well who sell on maybe Amazon, eBay, Shopify, Magento. And our purpose is really to pull in all the messages into the one place, keep it nice and simple, and just get a nice flow while responding to customers as well.
Yeah, so to give you a little background, for customer service, the way most people operate, most brands, even small businesses, even sometimes larger brands and businesses, they have a customer service person. If they're a bigger company, they've got 2 or 3 people or a whole call center full of people. And every time they check a different aspect, you have maybe one person who does Amazon, somebody else who does eBay, or if you have one person, you're having to go in and manually log into each of those different accounts. You get the message, then you have to pull up the order, and then you have to reference it. You have to do whatever you need to do to handle a customer support issue, and then you've got to go to the next one. And we had a company that was basically doing this, all hands on deck, multiple customer service people working part-time to handle all the messages. And when I found xSellco Helpdesk, it blew me away. I literally stopped the demo, called up our customer support, rep and said, your life is about to change. And the amount of time that it took us to handle a customer service issue dropped probably in half. And our ability to expand and grow and scale without adding additional customer service people was phenomenal. So what I'm really excited to do is just to give everybody a demo of what this software can do, what this tool can do to help you. Like I said, it's great for small businesses who have limited support staff, so it's a time and energy and financial aspect, or even larger companies because it aggregates all the information, it puts it in one place, and super simple and intuitive to use. So Shane, if you want to go ahead and share your screen, we'll go ahead and start this demo.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll pop in with questions or comments throughout because, like I said, we've used it for about 1.5 years now. Unbelievable the way it's changed our business model.
Great to hear. So let me just share my screen now. So perfect. Just give me confirmation. You can see where I'm seeing, Shannon?
Yep. It looks like it just pulled up.
Perfect. Great stuff. So really, like Shannon said as well, the main purpose of xSellco is to keep everything into one place and really just help businesses as well grow. We're really reducing the time it takes and the people as well for customer support and customer service. And the way xSellco works is that it integrates with multiple marketplaces such as Amazon, eBay, your social media channels as well, like Twitter, Facebook, and other kind of CMS platforms even, like Magento, Shopify, WordPress, and many more as well. So just going from left to right, I'm going to go through the different kind of headings here. So we have where the message came from, the type of message, who the customer is, a brief description of the message as well. And probably the most important really heading here on the right hand side is the Sla Timer, and this will give us an indication of how long we have to respond to the customer. And we all know how important this is for the likes of Amazon and eBay as well, just to keep up our metrics. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to go through the messages kind of one by one, show you what it looks like on the inside. And look, any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask. Perfect. So when we click in, it's really like a normal email correspondence. We have the back and forth between ourselves and the customer. And then we have all the order information here on the right hand side. And like Shannon said as well, this really saves us having multiple tabs open, going to different places to get the information we need. It's really all available at our fingertips. And although it's a simple feature, it's one that just saves so much time as well.
And it also shows the customers ordered multiple orders. I mean, this is the amazing thing. If they order from, your website, but then contact you via email, and that's the other channel that I don't know if you mentioned, but you can integrate your customer support email address. So we don't even use customer support email. It all forwards into xSellco. And if they send you an email with the email that they ordered with, it populates their order information automatically. You don't have to go searching for it. It saves so much time in that regard. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely, yeah. And like Shannon said as well, the multiple orders, you will see kind of links as well from the order IDs. You'll see the total kind of order value as well. You can segment it down to just one particular order. And we will see then the customer information here also, so we know exactly who ordered, where they're from, their contact information as well, if we ever need to reach out to them. And really, if we want to respond to the customer, we can just write an email or a message as normal, just saying, maybe say hi. But if we want to pull in some information from the marketplace, we can use hashtags to pull in some snippets, like the customer first name, maybe a customer email, the expected delivery date. And even if we want to go step above, we can click on hashtag, tab, and we can use templates as well, which can contain snippets that pull in some order information.
So let's talk real quick about snippets and templates, because I think that was one of the biggest time savers. Talk about what a template is, and then talk about a snippet and how they interrelate.
Yeah, so a template really is, it's really a template. It's exactly what it says on the tin. It's a more or less a message that we can send out to customers. Let's say, for example, we are getting a message like this: when will my order arrive? A frequent message. We can have a template to respond to the customer with all the relevant information. And snippets as well. Snippets really contain, more or less, pull in the information from the marketplace. So look, if we want to pull in, say, the expected delivery date, it's going to be there, along with the product information as well. And like I said before, the template can contain the snippets. So all we can do in a matter of 2 clicks, we have a message with all the information the customer needs and ready to send out.
So a snippet could be something as simple as, thank you so much for your order. And that's a snippet, but a template could contain multiple snippets as well as just generic text that you can automatically pull in. And as you mentioned, there's variables. So the snippet or the template can contain information such as their tracking number. A lot of people say, hey, when's my order? Well, instead of having to go look that information up, you can literally just respond with that snippet that will auto-populate that data.
Absolutely, yeah. And I do see sellers as well who obviously put in the tracking number and then the courier service as well. So in the same email, they get the tracking number, in which then they can use another link to then go into the courier, input the number, and then they know exactly when the order is going to be delivered. And it goes really as well, if they are going from maybe from Magento or Shopify, kind of their own website, they can include then maybe a review link or say a Facebook link as well to drive to the social media channels. And it really, that's, even though a small thing, it's great for retention as well and keeping the customer in the loop.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. And with the message as well, there's another option here for templates. If we just want to click on, we can have a list,
okay,
like so. And we can add attachments as well, just like any other normal email there. We can just throw them in there. Once we're happy enough, we press send.
Now there's a really interesting feature here right at the bottom, close ticket. And this is something that a lot of Amazon sellers deal with. In fact, this is what I was doing when I wound up having to jump in and handle customer service for a client. We typically use our unread messages as our to-do list. So if you go into Amazon, you have 10 unread messages. Once you click that and read it, then you go, okay, it's off my list. You're not thinking you have to go back. But there's sometimes where a customer says, hey, I'm not happy with my product. And you reply and say, do you want a refund or replacement? And you're actually waiting for that customer. So the case actually needs to stay open. With xSellco, you can keep that ticket open and know that it's not closed yet until you've actually gotten the response that you need, closed it out. And that makes a huge difference, making sure that you're following up if, for example, you need more information.
Absolutely, and it's going to categorize here down the left-hand side as well. Like firstly, we're going to see any tickets that is assigned to ourselves. We'll have open inbox, which is just more or less everything that has come in, maybe that needs action, or we're waiting on the customer to respond also. Later, this is any tickets that maybe are snooze. Resolved is anything that's resolved. And this is really the main 2 folders we work off as well, is needs action. So that's really the ones we have to take action on and respond to the customer. And then waiting is if we're waiting on the customer to respond to us. Sometimes if maybe message is in the folder for it could be in the folder here for maybe 2-3 days as we need a bit of follow-up and a bit more information then to fully answer the question as well for the customer.
Yeah, because I know like with eBay, for example, if somebody files a case, you may need to follow up to see if you can resolve it. But if not, you need that reminder to go back in and refund it so they don't automatically do it and charge you a fee. And I think Amazon's the same way. Like you still need to respond to the customer even if you don't have the information. Say, hey, I need to check on that with our warehouse. I'll get back to you. But you can set a reminder for yourself and that message then will pop back up. So it just keeps everything in front of you. And like you said, the timestamp in terms of how long you have to answer it, Amazon's 24 hours, but you're not necessarily going to set it at 24 hours. You can actually set it by channel, correct? Like I can set my own and say, well, I actually want to answer Amazon emails in 6 hours. And that's what the timestamp will show on that.
Absolutely, yeah. So first of all, the SLA is going to be pulled in from the marketplace. And in settings as well, in channel settings, which we'll touch on in a few minutes, we can then go in, see the SLA timers, and then set our own timers as well that are unique to our own business.
Okay. Wonderful.
Brilliant, brilliant. And just on the message as well, while we're kind of talking about maybe a topic or a ticket as well that's taking a few days to resolve because we need the information, we can also assign multiple people to the ticket as well if we need to bring to the attention of maybe management or customer service employees or anyone really in particular. And we can leave internal notes as well also if we want to have a correspondence amongst ourselves. And go ahead.
I was going to say this has been so helpful because when I stepped out of doing customer service, we hired somebody and I trained them. And what we wound up doing was I would have then at that point handled escalated customer service issues. So if there was something that they couldn't figure out, they would tag me and assign it to me. And I could go in, get the information, make a recommendation like they're saying, hey, what should I do for this order? They have a question about this. What do I tell them? So I can go in, I can respond to them, or I can make a note. And those internal notes are so key because otherwise, if a customer, may have had a question about something, but if you didn't write it down, you don't have any record of what your conversation was of how to handle a specific case. Or if you'd agreed to refund them over the phone, for example, you can add all that information here and it stays with that case. And it's just one of the favorite things I love. So sometimes there may be multiple people that need to jump in. We'd assign it to the warehouse manager. They could go in and add a different information, assign it back to the customer service rep, and they can take over. So the transition is literally flawless between all the different people that would interact with the software.
Absolutely, and just on that as well, we use the help desk as well in-house, and like you said as well, it just saves so much time. It literally just keeps everyone on the same page. Everyone knows exactly what's going on with the ticket or with the customer, and it just saves so much time of going back and forth and trying to second guess what happened here or what happened there. We can see really right in front of ourselves.
Yeah.
And yeah, if we want to tag someone in, I always like to tag Ronaldo just with the name, or we can tag multiple people in on the ticket as well just to bring it to their attention. And yeah, once we do that, we add to note, and that's just going to stay with ourselves. Okay. Now there is going to be some errors as well that do come up in the demo. It's just because it's dummy data as well. Right. Yeah, so the next message I'm going to go to is really one for multi-channel sellers or anyone who's kind of sells in multi-countries. Okay. Especially in the air office as well. I work with Pietro, my Italian colleague, and Eleanor, who is French speaking as well. And to be honest, it's great to have them here because it's like a Rosetta Stone in the office. And if I ever had children as well, one of the things I'm probably I wish for them anyway, is to pick up a second or a third language because it's so, so, so important. And especially in customer service as well. We know that because the world is so small now, because everything's connected, we can pull in messages from really anywhere and make orders anywhere. And with xSellco, we do have an auto translation tool.
Yeah, and as you queue this up, I want to tell everybody how complicated my life was before this. So we launched and expanded to Amazon UK and Amazon Europe. So now we're in UK, Amazon Italy, Amazon Spain, Amazon France, Amazon Germany. I don't speak any of those languages except English. So for me, we would get a customer inquiry in German, and I'd open it in Amazon. I'd have to copy it and paste it into like Google Translate, try to figure out what they were saying, and then I'd have to do whatever it is they were requesting I do, write my response, plug that back into Google Translate, copy and paste that back into the message, and hope it all worked correctly. The time-consuming, aspect of it was just tremendous. So talk about what the auto translation feature does and looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel your pain too. I think especially in French, the furthest my language goes is bonjour, and that's probably about it. But thank God we do have the translation tool, because as you can see here, the message came through from Chloe in French. It's been translated to English here, our native tongue. And if we want to use a template or a snippet or whatever, really, we can just input it here. If we press send.
Yeah. And that's it. It auto-translates it to English, and it auto-translates it back to the native language that they inquired about.
Absolutely, yeah. It's going to give the full translation, send it over to Chloe as well. And look, we use Microsoft Azure for the translations, and we did have our French and Italian and German speaking colleagues as well have a look over the messages and make sure they're grammatically correct as well. Especially with translation tools, it's kind of word for word, and sometimes phrases are not really that accurate, but that's something we had to look over as well and are constantly improving also.
Yeah, that's great. And we found that using it, most of the information transfers over. The concept is always understood. And again, it's not going to be any better or different than trying to do a Google Translate, but the cost savings in terms of time is tremendous. It puts it all in one place. So.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just really gone again. It's really just having a purpose as well of just having one tab open, as I said, on multiple, having the marketplace, the translation tool, and then your email as well. It just kind of keeps it all nice and streamlined. And then, look, it may save about 30, 40 seconds for a message, but they build up as well. So the next message I'm going to head into as well is, so it opens up here. It's from Daniel Ryan, and you can see it's negative feedback from Amazon.
Okay.
Which is something that we don't like to see as much, but if it does come in, we do like to have a plan as well for this. So first of all, we're going to pull in any negative feedback. We're going to pull in the rating, the message as well. And in the help desk itself, we have 3 different ways to handle this. So we can reply directly to the customer. If we want to kind of resolve the issue just between ourselves, we can. If we want to leave a public response, maybe we feel it's unfair, and we can do this also by just following the link. And look, if our FBA or any really fulfilled item in particular, we can raise the feedback to be removed to Amazon. And the link is there. It'll bring us straight to the Amazon page, and then we just fill out the request. Now, with eBay as well, we do pull in resolution cases and refund requests that can all be handled in the help desk itself. And it just means then that it really works the same way. You have the drop-down menu where you choose what you want to do. You click on what you want to do, and then it's processed and marked as resolved as well on eBay. We do have the internal notes as well, and we use this a lot for negative feedback, and see a lot of our customers use this also, where we can tag maybe management in on a negative feedback case or ticket, get a second opinion, and maybe just some support on what to say also.
Well, and another way we used this that was huge was we used to do this manually through an Excel spreadsheet. But we'd had products that would have manufacturer defects. Well, we used to have to manually catalog all of those and go through and count them up. Now we just tag it and go, oh, that's a manufacturer defect. Then we can look at the number of items in that folder that have been tagged, and all of a sudden we can fill out a request basically from the manufacturer to get reimbursements for items or product that was damaged from the manufacturer or had defects when it was shipped originally.
Absolutely, yeah. And the way to add tags is just down here in the bottom right-hand corner, where we can just go to Add Tag. We choose a category or a label, and that's going to be assigned then to the ticket. Really easy to do as well. And like Shannon said, that can be filtered down at the end also. So I'm just going to move on through the tools as well. So with the messages, we have tools down here at the bottom. So we have snippets, templates, rules. The first one I'm going to go into is templates. So with the templates, like we've seen, it's a normal standard template. But what we can set up as well is some auto replies and maybe some out of office messages as well for the weekend to keep up our SLAs. We can then have, if frequent messages are coming in, like where's my order, we can have responses built for them and set up triggers as well that anytime they come in, a message is sent out to the customer with all the information they need.
Now, this is huge specifically for Amazon, right? So I have a lot of people who go, okay, I know Amazon has a 24-hour customer response time, but they don't mean on the weekends, dude. Like, they don't mean on the holidays, like on Christmas. I'm not supposed to log in on Christmas, are you? And the answer is yes. Amazon wants you to respond within 24 hours, regardless of the day, regardless of the time. They do flag if you do an autoresponder, like if you're an Outlook and you set up an autoresponder, hey, I'm out of office for the weekend, Amazon knows when that email gets kicked back immediately, and they actually don't credit you for responding in 24 hours. How does xSellco handle that differently?
Yeah, so the way we handle this differently is actually a really simple tool. Is we just delay the auto response. So we can delay by about 10 or 15 minutes. We can set the min and max delay, the frequency. So if the customer has an autoresponder as well, if we don't want to say an autoresponder word, what we call it here, we can do is say once every hour or once every 6 hours. And in terms of triggering out the response as well, we can always, this is really where we set up the triggers here, so we can say what channel the autoresponder is going to be active on, if one or multiple, if the subject line contains something, if the query type, so maybe shipping or cancellations or something like that, we can have autoresponders for them. And same with the order status as well. And a lot of our sellers as well, over time, they don't use this as much, but they see how effective it is. They create one message and then they start building a catalog of messages that they set up over time. And one example as well is Suzuki, who have reduced the whole customer support process by 92% by just having these autoresponders.
Yeah, I do want to talk to that for a second. There is some infrastructure and time invested to building this out. It's not like you turn it on. The integrations are very simple, but if you really want to maximize the use of it, it's going to take some time and some energy. And the first thing I had our customer service rep do was I said, go ahead and create every template, like go through all of your send emails for eBay, for Amazon, for the email, go through all of them for the last 30 days and find the most common ones and go ahead and give me a template, and then I'll create them in xSellco. We would create the snippets, we would create the templates. In terms of the rules, there's tags, there's all these different things that you can do to customize it to basically provide the automation. The principle I use is sort of like the 80-20, but you're going to spend 80% of your time doing the work and 20% of your time figuring out how to do the work more effectively. And if you spend that 20% of time really maximizing xSellco, the long-term decrease in time and cost is phenomenal. And we haven't even got the dashboard reporting, which we'll get to later, but the amount of time that it takes down the road decreases every time you make an infrastructure investment to make it a smoother process for your customer service team.
Absolutely. And even from using the help desk ourselves, if we're reaching out to customers, any kind of issues as well, if we already respond to them, we always have a template ready. Or if we're introducing ourselves to the customers, we'd obviously add in the personal touches, but we do have the body of the message as well in which we can send out, and it just saves us so much time. If I was reaching out to everyone that contacted me today just without templates, I'd be probably still here till midnight. But that's really is, and it does take a bit of time really to get used to and just create the template, save it in, and then start using it. But over time as well, you are going to build up a real catalogue of templates as well, and in a matter of 3 clicks, you will have the response ready to send out to the customer.
And some people have a little pushback on that, and they say, well, we really want every message to be personalized. And you can, to a very great extent, personalize the templates. You can write it where, it's just like you were writing it. It doesn't have to be, a specific kind of copy. So it can feel very personal, but the most important thing is the service part. If you can respond to a customer super quick with the information they need, that's really what builds the customer rapport. We've had people who maybe they weren't happy with the product, but they will send us messages and say, your customer service is phenomenal. And part of it has to do with having those templates ready, having the processes ready, having the order information at their fingertips. That's really what enhances the customer service experience and makes people come back and buy from you again.
Absolutely, yeah. And really the personalization comes from the snippets as well, where you can input the customer's first name, the product name as well, the expected delivery date. But more importantly, these templates can, once inputted into a message, can be edited if we need to add in a line or two about the business, or just a line or two about the customer in general, if we do know the customer. And them small little things as well make a huge difference. Like even an experiment that I done before, we used to do as kids as well, if we call a name on the street, you see about 10 or 15 heads turning around. And even on emails, if you do say input, say the customer's first name in an email, I think they're about 5 times more likely to open that email as well, because it's calling out to them, it's personalized.
Yeah, and you can, like you said, you can create a template, use the template, and add just a little bit of a phrase. You know, if it's a special holiday or whatever the case may be, you can still personalize it. But the amount of time it takes you to personalize it versus writing it from scratch is, you know, going from a minute and a half, 2 minutes to, 15 seconds. So
Absolutely, absolutely. It just really gives the body, and then you just add then the magic powder just on top, and then it's ready then to send out to the customer. And with the snippets as well, if maybe a holiday is coming up, we can always then say Happy Christmas or Happy Easter or wherever as well. We can just add in that snippet, or maybe we want to link then to our Facebook page, or I don't know, any kind of particular phrases that we are using. We can just add a snippet. We'll put in the name of the snippet. So let's say apologies for my typing. Another thing it does have as well is autocorrect, which saves my life.
That's great.
We can always just then, just once we have that, we can create snippet, and then we have to do in the message, it's just hashtag Christmas or hashtag NC, and it's going to come up as well. We can just input that and look at any other kind of long-winded phrases as well. It's a real time saver in them also.
Wonderful.
Brilliant. So another thing we do have as well is rules, where we can set up rules that filter out messages to different people or to different folders. And this is really handy as well if you do have maybe an agent that looks after the Amazon messages, an agent that looks after the eBay. This automatically just filters any Amazon to the relevant agent and to a relevant folder.
Yeah, so again, this goes up into the infrastructure setup. The rules are going to take a little bit of time to set up, but once you set it up, it's automatic, and you can always make tweaks to it later. So much customization that can be done that saves you so much time in the long run.
Absolutely, yeah. And they're really easy to do this. If I can do this, anyone can do this. It's really just inputting the name of the rule. We'll select the active, so we'll call this test. The condition really is what we want to filter down by, so we can go by, say, channel, go by ticket type as well. So let's say we want any cancellations, maybe assigned to a cancellation folder, or maybe returns, or we can assign them to an agent as well. Maybe let's say David looks after cancellation, so any messages, any cancellation messages are going to be assigned to David. Once that's done, we go to create rule, save changes, and that's the rule created. So that's anything now that comes in the form of a cancellation. It's going to be forwarded then to David, and that's going to appear in his consolidated inbox up here.
Perfect.
Perfect. So another feature as well we have, we do have a chat feature. So if you have your own website and you want to install a chat feature that pulls in to your help desk as well, you can design them. You design the button of how it looks, the pop-up style as well, you have full control over. And then once done, all you have to do is just copy and paste the code and install it on your website.
Yeah, we did this with a Shopify site. Actually, it was 3 Shopify sites. It was incredibly easy to integrate. Once it was integrated, the chat pop-up is there. There's a way to add your picture to your profile. So that way, whatever customer service person is managing it, if they go ahead and respond, then their customer service picture pops up. They're able to chat with them. And again, typically it asks for the customer's email address. It auto-populates all the order information. So again, you don't have to spend all this time going and looking for it. Regardless of how they contact you, it's going to find the order, as long as it's not eBay, Twitter or like Facebook, for example. But everything else, it just auto-populates the information.
Absolutely, yeah. And even, look, if it's Facebook or Twitter as well, if they do say give the order number or what the order or even the customer name,
Right.
you can always go to orders, search for the name of the customer, and it's going to pull up the order information here.
Which you can't even do in Amazon. I mean, you have to have the order number or the Amazon alias email address. Way more complicated. This is the fastest way to search for a customer. Even for Amazon, well, we can't, request that a customer remove negative product reviews. If somebody leaves a review, a product review, and they leave maybe their first or last name and which product they ordered, this is a great way to look them up and just reach out and say, hey, just wanted to let you know that we saw your comment and wanted to send you a replacement or offer you a refund, whatever that may be, just for the, again, the customer service aspect of it to improve the overall experience.
Absolutely, and just being proactive to the customers as well, it makes a real difference. Look, it's inevitable that we are going to get products that are going to be always 100%, and if we know a product's gone out to a customer as well that may be problematic, we can always just click on the order, reach out to the customer and say, look, maybe this is our stock, or it's send out the wrong size. If you send it back, we'll send you back then the correct size. And yeah, it's just a great way really to identify orders and just get to the customer as fast as possible.
Yeah, and this doesn't have to do with xSellco per se, but it is a good customer service practice for Amazon or any channel. If we have a customer that gets a wrong product or a defective product, we'll not only automatically ship them a replacement, but we will also automatically give them a 15% refund. And people are just blown away when we give that to them proactively without them asking. And so we're not looking at how little we can give the customer, we're looking at how far we can bend over backwards to help them. Again, it just builds long-term brand awareness. They share that story with 10 or 15 people. It just pays for itself. It's about building a great brand.
Absolutely, and not even a great brand, just a great relationship as well with the customer. And it's naturally rewarding as well. Like it's good to make your customers happy. Like even look, the profit's good, but look, if you're making a difference in someone's lives, I know as cheesy as it is, but look, even if it's a small difference, look, brilliant.
Yeah.
By all means, do it.
All right.
Brilliant. So the next thing I'm going to head into then is the dashboard. So this will really give us an overview of the analytics in terms of the sales coming in, the tickets coming in as well, and then agent activity. So with the sales overview, it's going to give us a whole holistic view of all the sales coming in from our marketplaces. If we want to filter down by the marketplace, we can, or by a time range, we can also. And if we scroll down, we're going to see heat map as well, or when we're getting our most orders, what day is most busiest, what time is most busiest as well. And then what sales channel is the most busiest, maybe Shopify, Amazon, or eBay as well. We will have the value here also. For the help desk, it's going to give us a breakdown of the tickets used in each billing cycle and the estimated tickets per billing cycle as well, how many tickets are active and where the tickets are coming from, maybe what channel.
Yeah. Now let's talk real quick about tickets because, again, this is another huge benefit of xSellco.
Yeah.
There are some companies that charge every single time you send a message. You guys don't do that. So what do you consider a ticket when somebody reaches out? So I'm a customer and I reach out to xSellco, through xSellco, and then the customer service agent responds and I say, I want a refund instead of a replacement, and they send the refund. How many tickets are we talking about?
So essentially that would be one ticket. A ticket we define as it's more or less a conversation between ourselves and the customer. Probably the best way to describe it is like an email thread. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if that email thread has 1,000 back and forth messages, it's still one ticket. And that's what we charge really our service by. We have 4 different packages ranging from 500 tickets to 2,000 tickets to 4,000 to 8,000 as well. All features are the same. The only difference is the amount of tickets used.
Yeah, no, that's really fantastic. I love that feature of it.
Yeah, and we do see a lot of people really kind of charge per user as well. We don't really believe in that philosophy because, look, we could have a user that really doesn't use the service. Like with the tickets, you're getting value for money because it's what you're paying for, what you're actually using as well.
Yeah, and you don't want your customer service reps not wanting to send multiple, messages to a customer because they're worried about going over their tickets. You want to be able to send them, all the messages that they need to resolve the issue. So it puts the focus in the right place and on the time it takes to respond.
Absolutely, yeah, and it just really keeps everything on the one thread as well. So the back and forth is there for both ourselves and more importantly for the customer as well. It's you can just literally scroll up and down, see the whole transcript, and it's all there.
Mm-hmm.
And just with the tickets as well, so we do have a ticket breakdown as well of when the most tickets come in and what days are coming in as well. And this gives us really an idea of when we're most busy, and it's a great way as well to say when we need staff on hand, what the rota should be also. And, excuse me, we do have the query type, so we know exactly which query type is coming in the most, what channel the most messages are coming from. And this is a real great way as well to identify maybe if we're having shipping queries as well, maybe we may need another courier, or we're having defective items as well, and maybe we want to have a second look at our products or public messages as well. Yeah. It's going to give us a nice view of what kind of messages are coming in and really an idea of how to troubleshoot and reduce them messages coming in going forward.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And once again, everything can be exported as well if you want it in a CSV or an Excel file also.
Okay.
So with the response times, this really gives us a breakdown of how long we're taking to respond per ticket type, and our first and last touch attribution, and then our SLA compliance as well per channel.
And can you look at this, I forget, are you able to look at this by the team members? I think that's probably in the next.
Yeah, so you can look at this per team member as well. So with each team member, we're going to see the number of handled tickets, how long it's taken each team member to respond to a ticket, the number of messages sent by a team member, and the internal notes left also. And then we can see a heat map of when each agent is most busiest, what day, what time as well.
Yeah. I mean, I know companies that outsource their customer service, and what they have to do is they have to schedule weekly calls to get updates on, well, what's going good and what's not going good, or they have to, be given access to be able to review some of the correspondence. If you bring it in-house, first of all, the cost is going to be significantly less, but two, you're able to monitor everything and you can see exactly what's happening. You don't have to rely on somebody else to report on how well the customer service is. If you're going to outsource anything, I would put customer service last, because customer service is the forefront representation of the brand beyond the marketing. It's every customer touch, after the customer buys a product or is in the process of buying a product. So for me, that customer service experience is so valuable to have somebody inside your team who's trained, who understands the culture, the tone, how you want to respond. And with xSellco, it just makes it really easy and affordable to do that.
Absolutely. And look, it's really all about consistency as well with customer service. And that's where obviously having everything in one place in terms of the metrics, exactly who is doing what messages are being sent out as well. And the templates are going to bring that consistency, because at least everyone is going really off the same tone of voice as well, which is a massive, really impactful for the brand as well. Yeah. And probably the last kind of metric I'm going to go through is the assigned tickets. So when we come in maybe on a Monday morning, we know exactly which agent has the amount of needs action tickets waiting on hold as well. And maybe we can, if someone is kind of bombarded with messages as well, we can always give a helping hand and maybe assign someone else as well to a few tickets just to balance everything out. So,
for example, if we have 5 customer service people and a bunch of messages come in that aren't specifically assigned, is anybody able to jump in and assist and help resolve those customer issues?
Yeah, absolutely. First, what we could do, we could just go to messages, and then our open inbox as well, and this is going to contain everything. And let's say, for example, we do have an agent who is maybe out sick, we can just filter down by name. Mm-hmm. So we can always go for, let's go for Bob. We'll show results, and luckily Bob has nothing assigned to him, but if he did and he was out sick, we could just filter down by his name and go through his messages and start responding then to his inquiries as well as best we can.
Let's talk about custom fields real quick, because I know we hit widgets. Talk real quick about what the custom fields are and how people might use those.
Yeah, so custom fields as well are just really inputs that we can put in. So we do see a lot of people putting in the client's name. It really just pops up on the message as well. And we do see a lot of people put in the customer number. To add a customer field, we'll just really put in the name of the field itself, the type as well, if it's a text, a date, a time, multiple selections, a URL even as well. And then we put in the min and max length also.
Yeah, so this allows you, if there's internal customer data that you want to track in a different way, this is a great way to be able to add this either via rule or manually to be able to track that. Yeah, the customization options are endless and phenomenal to be able to do everything that a customer service person would need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if you don't find everything you need in the help desk as well, we do have an open API. If you do want to make a connection maybe with your in-house system, and we do have integrations as well with the likes of Limworks, Figo, and Scuban as well, and so on, where we can maybe not that message, but we can click into a message as well. And we do have three little dots here where we click on. You can show the order details maybe in Limworks, and it's going to pull up then what the order would look like in Limworks. And it's really just keeping everything in the one place as well.
Yeah, we used Scuban. So let's talk real quick about integrations. What are some of the really simple setup integrations that you guys can handle customer service for? So I know, for example, the ones off the top of my head are Amazon, eBay, Walmart, Shopify, Magento. And then the customer service email. What are some of the other ones that you guys integrate really easily with?
Yeah, so first of all, we have the support emails. So Gmail, Yahoo, Exchange, and Outlook. And we do then have the marketplace integration. So we have Amazon, eBay, Shopify, Magento, a few European ones, PrestaShop, BigCommerce as well, WooCommerce, Allegro. We have Sears. We also then have Newegg, Walmart, of course, Fnac, Cdiscount, Miracle, Price Minister, Tesco, and Bonanza. That's the marketplaces. We do then have social media integrations as well. So we integrate with Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, and we found that there's, obviously from a social media marketing standpoint, you're going to have social media teams that are doing posts and promoting products or sales or specials or, updates on information. But we found that a lot of the comments we get through Twitter and Facebook are really order related or product related. They have a question about the product. And again, a customer service person is going to be much better to answer those than a social media person. And it makes so much sense because they've got access to all the data. So again, they provide their email address or an order number. You can populate it, pull it up right there and respond using a template. And the social media team doesn't have to worry about that as well.
Absolutely, yeah. It just really pulls everything in, whether it be, say, a social media channel or the marketplace as well. And we do have that experience as well. We do get a lot of kind of questions as well through Twitter and Facebook as well. And I can see the popularity of Facebook ads for messages to increase as well. So a lot of people are messaging in, a lot of people are running competitions and messaging the customers as well. And once they respond, it's going to be pulled in through the help desk as well. And the correspondence then can continue on then through the social media channel, or not through the social media channel, through Facebook, through xSellco as well.
Yeah. So I want to give just sort of a brief customer, case study from this. I was working with a company and we had some product and videos go viral, and we wound up selling 20,000 units in less than 7 days. It was
phenomenal.
Chaos because the first ones sold out of FBA super quick in a couple of days. Everything was merchant fulfilled after that. And the amount of customer inquiries, maybe return requests, when people kind of do an impulse buy, they're more likely to return it, even though a return rate was very, very low. I had to slate out 2 hours a day for the 7 days a week for the next 2 months to handle all of the follow-up from this. I mean, it was mind-boggling. We hired a customer service person, trained them on Amazon, trained them on the website. We had 3 customer service people working part-time to make all that happen. And then we got xSellco. We set up the templates, we set up the snippets, we set up the rules. We integrated with 3 Shopify sites. That's the other thing. It's not just one. We had 3 Shopify sites. We integrated with all of them. We integrated with eBay US, eBay UK, Amazon.com, all of our Amazon European marketplaces. And once we did all this, we had a launch of one of the products was featured on Good Morning America. It's a show here, and we sold 20,000 units in one day. So we went from selling 20,000 units in a week to selling 20,000 units in one day. We had one customer service rep working part-time using xSellco, and they handled everything. And they weren't even that busy. They were on the chat feature and on the social media, and I'm like, how's it going? She's like, it's fine. We're good. Everything was really smooth. Because again, you make the investment to streamline your processes and build the infrastructure, it will pay off in dividends. Your customer service people will also just be happier. Even though there's less work, you're able to expand and scale, and they're able to do things more smoothly. It's less frustrating. If they need to escalate a ticket, they used to have to copy and paste it and email it to me, and then I'd have to email them back, and they'd have to do all the rework. Now, they just assign it to me, I make the comment, assign it back to them, and everything's done. So again, xSellco has changed our customer service experience head to toe, and it's basically worth every penny, even for small startup brands, even to the larger ones, because of the integration potential and possibilities.
Absolutely. And that's the impact we want to have on companies as well. It's just really to streamline the whole process, make it as easy as possible, and really as stress-free as possible as well, just to handle customer service messages. It's kind of one of them things that's it's not glorified. Like, everyone loves making sales, everyone loves marketing, but when it comes to customer service, it's one of them things that we kind of have to do. And look, we may as well do it right and as effective and efficient as possible as well.
So let's look real quick at settings, because I want to talk about, you can bring in multiple people, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up here because we're coming up on time. But Shane, thanks so much for going through this webinar. It's been really, really helpful. And again, I've loved it. I've enjoyed it. I think I've even got a couple new things to look into. But talk real quick about the account settings, and then we'll go ahead and close it out.
Yeah, so the account settings, I'm going to firstly start off with users. So if we want to add a user, it's really easy. We just go to add user up here to the top right hand corner. We put in the name, last name, email address, and time zone. They will then receive an email from ourselves just to say set up your password. They're added then as a user. Once they're added as a user, we can then control the permissions of what they see and what they don't see, and they can then set up their own signatures. So each user can have their own individual signature. They can set in their working hours as well to say when they're available for chat. And then in the account settings itself, we do have a few other options. So we can change the color of the help desk. We can say languages that we understand for the auto translation. We can then set up our own email signature. And then probably the last setting I'm going to go to is maybe company settings.
And I want to mention something real quick for the signature. You can customize the signature by marketplace, because Amazon, for example, it will strip out any websites or email addresses, and they'll penalize you if you do that too much. So you want to make sure for Amazon, you're just doing a customer signature with the name and the company information. But if you're responding to somebody through your Shopify site, you can put in the website, your social media addresses, and again, all that set up at the beginning, and then it's automatic as you move forward.
Absolutely, yeah. So even in channels, even before we go into company settings, if you go to channels, we can then have its own individual channel settings. So if we go to general, and if we go to help desk, we can then have our email signature. We can set the SLA as well, which is somewhere here. Mm-hmm. There's the SLA. We can change that. And yeah, and then the last thing I want to touch on then is company settings. So we do have integrations with Brightpearl, Limworks, Scubana, Follow Commerce, Starfeeder, Fico, ShipStation, AfterShip. And yeah, it's what it really does is it just pulls in all the information from the multiple places as are all available at our fingertips, and just as easy as possible to respond to the customer.
That's brilliant. Well, Shane, thank you again so much. Again, if you have any questions about Helpdesk, I will provide a website and information for xSellco beneath the webinar. And I want to thank everybody for joining us. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. If you have any questions about our courses or resources, you can visit us at marketplacesellercourses.com. Shane, thank you so much again for joining me. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Shannon. Thanks so much for having me today. And look, thanks everyone for tuning in as well.